Welcome to another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Golficity. We're talking about a wild finish out at the Workday Charity Open. We're looking ahead to yet another week at Muirfield Village with the Memorial Tournament coming up, and we're capping it off with our birdies and bogeys. So let's get into it. All right, it's episode 37. It's the Steven Strasberg episode.
It's a good one. You're probably thinking about that for a long time.
When I typed in episode 37 last night, I was like, this is Steven Strasberg.
This morning I was like Sean Alexander, like the OG Madden cover. I think it's like Madden 07 or something.
Sean Alexander's a good one too.
All right. Anyway, Morikawa won in a 3-hole playoff over JT, and it was great. Made really long putts to extend the tournament, and it wasn't on live television.
Yeah, they kind of screwed that up. Like they couldn't even put it on the Golf Channel.
Yeah, you can't even you say before we're gonna play in the morning because of weather, and nobody wants to put on live television. Nobody does that. Like I don't understand why the Golf Channel just didn't just put it on live television.
Well, yeah, like what's on the Golf Channel at like 11 in the morning? That's more important than like a tournament.
Pregame for the golf tournament.
Was that?
That's what it is.
I don't get that. They like simulcast it across like PGAtour.com and CBS.
Doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how you can show, especially. I guess it wasn't like the Memorial, but still, like it's sports. It's a big golf tournament. Like a lot of good players are playing in it, and so honestly, we missed like one of the battles of like the year, like in a playoff.
Yeah.
I mean,
watching that live would have been so sick.
Pat and I were on the golf course, so we were like watching it on my phone on the golf course, like on the PGA Tour app. And my dad was at home, and he said he just streamed it on his computer and like put it on casted it on the TV or whatever, and it was fine. But like if you didn't know that it was on the like CBSSports.com or PGAtour.com, like people were like, how do I get this? Like how am I watching it? Like they didn't really tell you what channel it was on or like what it was on.
I had a match with my dad, and we were playing the match, and I sit down for lunch, and I check my phone. I'm like, oh, let's see how everyone's doing so far in the day. And I see they're on like 16. The leader, like Morikawa and JT. I'm like, they're playing right now? I thought it was a mistake, and then someone said, oh, they're playing because of the weather. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, put them in threesomes too.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, congrats to Morikawa. Morikawa was due for another like big victory. He was due for a big victory, kind of.
Whichever. JT kind of choked that away a little bit. Like besides making the 50-foot putt, he kind of, like on that last tee shot, he went way right, and that just took him like out of it pretty much.
I didn't watch any of it, but I saw at one point JT had like a 3-shot lead. It was just 21 under, and Morikawa was 18. He went all the way back to 19. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Right. Yeah.
It seemed like a wild ride.
So basically, the main theme of the tournament was like the top 3 in the field were also top 3 in strokes gained approach, which, big for the podcast brand.
Big strokes gained approach.
Morikawa, Hovland, just like 3 very good ball strikers, did very well. So it's like, I saw Jason Sobel tweeting about how like this is a ball strikers tournament.
Yeah, I mean, strokes gained approach, most important stat, like almost every week, and this week was definitely the most important stat. So.
No, this course just seems like it's like you have to like hit the greens, and
I mean, yeah, the only other way to win or like play well is to like barely miss the greens, just be really good at like around the green and then putt well.
Well, JT was perfect scrambling this weekend. So
I mean, there was guys that did well this week, like I think Ian Poulter maybe like did pretty well this week, and his like approach wasn't great, but he was really good around the green and was like second in strokes gained putting, and that's like. That kind of makes up for the approach, but definitely a ball strikers tournament.
You have to fact check me on the JT thing, but I know at one point he was 12 for 12.
I saw 12 for 12 at one point too.
Mm-hmm. So I just assumed that he kept it going, but because that was on like Sunday. So
I mean, yeah, Morikawa didn't miss many greens either. So
yeah,
Morikawa is like perfect.
I mean, like I saw something saying like they're like, oh, his strokes gained around the green like isn't that good, but that doesn't really matter if you just hit every green. So
Exactly. And I think this week it might be even more important because, like, I know you said they were growing the rough out or something like that.
They're growing the rough out, and they're speeding up the greens, like they're not watering them. So
yeah, and the rough last week was like thick, and like they're gonna like grow out this week again. Like that's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah,
I want some carnage.
Fairway finders.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of like next week, the groupings for this week are just like insane. It's what do we got? Tiger,
Rory and Brooks.
Yeah. Wasn't Shane Lowry in one? Yeah, Phil Rose. Yeah. Lowry's one. JT, DJ, Xander. There's just like
Bryson. There's one with Bryson. I forgot what the rest of the group that was.
Maybe Cantley.
I think it was Bryson, like Ricky and Cantley, maybe.
I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff.
Bryson, Colin, and Cantley.
JT,
Dustin Johnson, and Schauffele.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of big groups this week. I mean, those are the 4 feature groups: Tiger, Rory, and Brooks, Phil, Justin Rose, Shane Lowry, and Bryson, Morikawa, Cantley, and then
one of those does not fit.
Shane Lowry was good last week, though. He's the champion golfer of the year.
He is champion golfer of the year. He is champion golfer of the year.
Don't sleep on Shane Lowry. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did well this week.
So, like, you know how, like, you have to watch, like, PGA Tour live, like, in the beginning of the rounds? Like, we're not going to see any of, like, John Rahm, Webb Simpson, Victor Hovland, like...
Jordan Spieth.
Like, that's just not going to be on TV for that beginning rounds, so...
Because they're just not in features groups.
They're not in feature groups, which is crazy.
Well, those feature groups are only for Thursday.
Yeah, well, and Friday.
Not necessarily.
What do you mean necessarily?
They like throw in the occasional like fan vote one.
But like it is going to be weird not seeing. It's
still going to be Tiger, Rory, and Brooks.
It's going to be weird not seeing like Hovland on TV like in the beginning. Like I'm used to that at this point every week.
Yeah, and Hovland's quickly becoming just like one of the more exciting guys to watch.
Yeah, we'll get.
You can't win though. The Puerto Rico curse has to live on as long as it can.
We'll see.
Honestly, I came to the realization this morning. I was telling myself, like, okay, like, Hovland, Puerto Rico curse, and, like, I'm coming to the realization it's going to end this year. Like, it's Hovland's going to win at some point, so.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. That's pretty much what I said in things.
It'd be kind of funny if he, like, I would love him, obviously, I would love for him to win, but it'd be kind of funny if he didn't win, and, like, the Puerto Rico curse just, like, was kept going.
Yeah, he just turns into Tony Finau, finishes, like, second place in every tournament.
So what if he won the Puerto Rico Open, though?
What if he's on what?
What if he won the Puerto Rico Open again?
That'd be hilarious. That'd be even better. And that was double. You can't win anything else. That would mean you definitely can't win anything else.
I don't even know if there are any 2-time winners there. There might be.
There is one. There's one 2-time winner. That's the only time he's won.
Right. Yeah, I knew we discussed something like that. Who is? Do you remember who it is?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I feel like it's a random name.
It is a random name.
Yeah. And then we also had, like, this is kind of just going off track for a second, but the American Century was last week, which is like, you know, all the celebrities and stuff. And I saw it like occasionally on my feed, but I was like, this doesn't really excite me that much. It's just Steph Curry. Like, it's just like Steph Curry show. Like, people like love to see Steph Curry golf.
Did Romo play?
But Marty
he played and withdrew.
Wow.
He hurt his wrist.
Oh, unfortunate for Romo.
I mean, gets hurt on the football field, gets hurt on the golf course. I mean, hopefully he doesn't get hurt in the booth.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've seen Marty Fish's name in a long time.
Yeah, back in watching the U.S. Open.
Honestly, most people like listening to this don't even know who Marty Fish is.
Yeah,
but he's he's pretty sturdy at tennis. And then Steph came in fourth. Charles Barkley second to last. Who came in last? You said?
Eddie George came in last.
Eddie George.
Yeah.
Is he a football player?
Yeah, he used to be a running back for the Oilers.
Yeah.
Right, I was gonna say, yeah. Well, that shows how young we are. I don't know.
I think like Mahomes played. Jim McMahon was playing with no shoes on.
I think Mahomes was in like 15th or something. I don't know. I didn't watch it. You can't broadcast that while there's actual golf on. Like, I'm sorry, I won't. I'll choose the actual golf every time.
I guess they wanted to show that instead of the final round Sunday morning. So
I guess.
Exactly. But, you know, that was just a little side note. Main thing Tiger's back this week. Finally.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for this.
I mean, we kind of predicted this last week. Like we said that this week.
We said he'd probably be back this week.
I mean, not much of a hot take.
I think the whole time since like quarantine started, everyone thought that Tiger would be back of all weeks this week. Mm-hmm. Maybe a couple of tournaments, but he's definitely gonna play this week at Jack's place.
Yeah,
which is exactly what happened.
How do we think he'll do this week? He's a 5-time winner.
I mean,
top 20.
I don't know. It's really hard to say because if he plays like he did in the match 2.0, maybe we got something going.
Yeah.
Like he might win. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he won, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he's like in the featured group on like Saturday morning or like Sunday morning and he's like 5 over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to predict that, which is why I stay away from him in like DraftKings lineups and stuff.
I think you're gonna because last time we saw him in a tournament, he played he missed the cut like badly.
I mean, that was so long ago.
You want to throw him?
It was so long ago, exactly. But it was so long ago. He hasn't played in so long. It's like
I mean, I wonder. Like, it's tough to tell.
Competition.
It's tough to tell what Tiger's been doing like with his time off. Like, has he been working on his game like hard, or is he just kind of like going out there playing a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's tough to tell. I don't think it would be a bad idea to throw him in like if you do multiple DraftKings lineups per week, like kind of put him in one of them. But I wouldn't say he's one of those guys you spread out through all your lineups because you really don't know what he's gonna do.
I mean, all you can say is a 5-time winner at this tournament. So like, horse.
That's one of the only things that's going for him right now. He hasn't played in so long. Yeah, I honestly thought about playing my best bet as him missing the cut, just to be bold and see what happens.
What was it?
It was probably plus like something.
It probably was. It's really high.
Tiger's odds are always 200. I thought
it was plus. It would have been that bonus, that plus 200 bonus.
Mm-hmm. There's still time, but I don't know.
I like my pick though, so I'll stick with that.
Tony Finau, I saw this on the internet as well. He carried it 383 with 206 ball speed because he decided to actually take a full swing.
Yeah.
I wonder
if he actually implements that.
Does that get rid of so much accuracy for him? I'm assuming
Oh no, I guarantee you he's not gonna do that on tour unless
he will never do that once on tour.
Yeah, there's no. But he still hits the ball like almost like one of the furthest hitters in the game with that little half swing that he has.
Unless he spent weeks or spends weeks working on it, he won't use it on tour. There's just no point if he already hits it as long as he does with this little half swing.
Right. Which I was talking this about Pat, especially with us. I'm not sure on the tour, but we were in situations yesterday where okay, we could have just punched out and hit the 150-yard shot in instead of a 120-yard shot or whatever in, and to us it really doesn't make a difference. I'm just wondering if a guy like Tony Finau, if he carries it an extra I don't know 30 yards, does that make much of a difference for him?
I mean, look at Bryson.
I think it probably would. If it's 30, yards,
unless you're sick with your wedges, but if you're not that sick with your wedges, then there's no.
Yeah, point. But it's 30 yards. It's difference between hitting a 9-iron and a gap wedge.
Yeah, I think the difference between Bryson and the rest, when Bryson swings super hard, he actually hits it kind of straight. I mean, he'll miss left to right sometimes, but for the most part, he's figured out his swing to the point where he doesn't miss too much. And that's why he's able to go for it
everybody try to hit it like Bryson does. So you can't really tell whether they would hit it straight or not.
Mm-hmm. Whichever. Bryson posted a video this week. I don't know if you saw. It was him hitting indoors in a net.
That was wild.
And it was him just unleashing.
I'm surprised.
I thought he was gonna break the net.
Yeah. Did we get any numbers on that? How far he was hitting it or no?
I don't think
we did.
I'm not sure. But the videos are kind of nasty. There's a camera behind the net. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he looked like he was just crushing it. He literally just unleashed. Every single swing was just him just whipping at the ball.
The launch angle on that is insane too.
He uses a 6.5 degree driver or something.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Jeez, really?
Yeah, his driver's messed up.
That's kind of crazy.
Because like most people like tour players you probably see like 8.5, 9.5. Like amateur golfers like 10.5. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure mine's 10.5.
Yeah,
yeah,
mine's
we're
10.5
as well.
Wow, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, so let's move on to our Monday hypothetical. We got a lot of good responses on this on Instagram. I mean, obviously it comes out on Wednesday, but you can go ahead over to the Pin High Pod and get these every Monday. So it's, would you rather play a round at Augusta, play your home course at Tiger Woods, or qualify for the U.S. Open?
Nah, we had like answers from like a bunch of different answers on this one. Like there was no consensus. So
I thought there was one guy who had like one really, really great answer was, if I qualify for the U.S. Open, I could play with Tiger. If I win or do good, I could get into the Masters and play at Augusta. I'm like, that's the way to go.
That I love the thinking there, but buddy, you're not winning the U.S. Open.
No. I'm not gonna, like, if I did that, I wouldn't win the U.S. Open. But like playing at the U.S. Open, you get to play. Also,
you get to play sick course.
You play twice.
Yeah,
you get to play twice. So you play with Tiger, you play once. Play the Augusta, you play once. Obviously, once in a lifetime experiences, but. You're playing the U.S. Open. You're playing like at like Winged Foot or like Shinnecock or something like that, or Pebble, and you're playing like you could be paired with like someone like pretty nice.
But
and then
here's the difference between you and me. You're like a 2 handicap or something, and I'm like a 15. So if I were to play in the U.S. Open, it would be embarrassing because like I would be like plus like 50 after like the middle of the second round or something.
So what would you pick then?
I would love to get Tiger to Silvermine. We play our home course. Silvermine is a very short course, and I would love to see Tiger play it. Also, just for podcast purposes, that'd be great content for like a video, and maybe we could get him on the pod, and that would blow us up, and then we're set. So.
I also think that it would be absolutely fantastic content to like get just like a nice like video of one of me and Jeek like competing in the U.S. Open. It would be
hilarious.
Also, like throw us like, imagine if like they throw us in a featured group just because like they just throw us in like the Tiger Woods, like Rory McIlroy, Patrick Diamond group, because like that would be the most entertaining thing of all time, because you get to see Tiger and Rory just like hitting the green regulation pretty much every time. And then you just like
see this kid,
like you just see me just like hacking it.
Yeah, if you made par in a hole, you'd be happy. You're like fist pumping, you make par. You just entertain the crowd. That's what we would do.
I think my strategy would be to like aim for all the bunkers, because my bunker game is apparently elite. So we got to show at least one good part of my game.
Aim for the bunkers. We'll see how that goes. So.
I get stuck in a pot bunker. Like
I think it won't land quite as softly on.
I think so.
Shinnecock. Even
I think if you put a little spin on it, it'll still roll all the way off the green.
Even head to like Silver Spring.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But overall, I would say play with Tiger just at my local course. I mean, I'd love to play Augusta, but
I think I was trying to think of this. He would be on almost like every green in like one, or he would have like a little like bump and run onto every single one.
There's a couple par fours that are literally par threes on the like PGA Tour. Like
my dad played with this client come out and play golf with him the other day at Silver Spring, and apparently I couldn't caddy in it, so I wasn't here, but the guy went to Q school. I tried to qualify for Q school, which is like the qualifying for like the PGA Tour, Corn Ferry Tour. Yeah. He hasn't he's played 3 times all year. He shot 74, and my dad said the guy this guy hit balls in places he's never seen like balls go like at our club. Like he was on 9, he was like 60 yards out, I think, on 9. And like he was just like he hits it so far, and like he's huge, like a big guy. Hits it so far and shot like 74 because he's only played like 3 times. But like still, I can't imagine Tiger playing it. Silvermine would be. I don't even know. Like he would probably shoot.
We talk about this all the time. Like, what would a pro like do at this golf course that we play at every time? And like I'm shooting like mid 80s. Like I wonder what a pro would shoot.
I think they would shoot like. So it's par 70.
He would shoot 55.
He would probably at the very least birdie all the par 5s, maybe eagle depending.
He would eagle 17 would be an eagle easy. 10 would be an eagle easy.
10 would be easy eagle.
9 would be an eagle easy. He would eagle all the par fives. Because I'm out there like every 3 times I play.
Yeah,
every 3 times I play, I have an eagle opportunity on like one of those holes. I would think if a pro's playing, they would have an eagle opportunity on all of those holes.
Silvermine, I feel like you could get kind of screwed up by the greens.
That's what I was thinking. I would love to see a tour pro like talk about the greens at Silvermine because they are messed up. They don't read true to like anything.
You would hate them. That might be the only reason he doesn't shoot like lower than like we would think. He would probably get all the greens and like par 5s and 2, some of the par 4s and a lot of the par 4s and like 1.
The lag putts at Silvermine just like are impossible because you do not know how fast the greens are on any given green.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so you're just like guessing.
And a lot of them don't have break. So like when I putt it like with break, it just doesn't break and like just goes past the hole. And then when I putt it without break, all of a sudden it breaks. So it's crazy. It's like every other hole.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's my answer. I'd love to play with Tiger. I think I don't know. I just think the U.S. Open would be electric content, but it'd be so embarrassing.
Playing the U.S. Open, but like at a home playing their home course at Tiger Woods would just be so funny. But I'd rather play in the U.S. Open.
I'd rather play in the U.S. Open.
I'd rather play at Silvermine with Tiger than play at Silver Spring with Tiger.
I can see that. I mean, I obviously I would be different, but I can understand why you'd want to see Tiger play Silvermine.
Because it should be so funny. Like
it'd be hilarious.
Where would I rather play right now? Silver Spring. But where would I rather
play
see
Tiger play? Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so that was a good one.
Yes, very good one. Let's move into the course preview, Jeek.
Okay, course preview, same as last week.
You can pretty much kind of go.
Yeah,
we already did the course.
We pretty much have a little less yardage than last week. They moved all the tees back to tournament tees, so it's like 60 something less yards. So 73.92 par 72. As I mentioned earlier, they're letting the rough grow for this week, and the rough was pretty bad last week. So curious to see what that's going to look like. They are also letting the greens dry out, and they're firming them up. So the green speeds are going to be different than they were last week. Pin placements are going to be different. Tee boxes are going to be different. So it's the same wide fairway, 73 bunkers across the course, long par 4s and 3s, but they're moving the pins around and changing the green speeds. So this is the first time I've seen a tournament back-to-back at the same place, so I'm wondering how that will be.
I'm pretty sure that's probably the first time in a very long time when there's been back-to-back tournaments.
Yeah, so I'm wondering how. I mean, you won't know until the first round how different the course is going to play. I mean, I'm assuming it's not going to play that different. Like, you're going to have like similar yardage approach shots. I mean, flags will be in different spots, and putting might be a little different. But PGA Tour pros like figure out the putting, so I don't think it's going to be totally different. Easily. Like I said, approach over driving. Again, and like key stats, strokes gained approach, par 4s 400 to 500 yards, sand saves, and proximity 150 to 175 yards. Unless you're Bryson, it would be proximity like 60 yards.
Yeah, 100 yards max.
Yes. So we want to start the DFS segment kind of different now because what we've been doing is like trying to like stay away from just being like, oh, you should pick Bryson or like, oh, you should pick Rory, because like nobody really wants to hear you say that because anyone can put together that can think of who they want to put as like their top salary guy, and we kind of go with like supporting guys. But what we're going to do now is we're going to give you who we think is like the high salary guy you should build your lineup around.
Oh yeah, and also like just to build off of that. Like the last couple of tournaments, if you've seen who has won the tournaments, they've all been like the top salary or high salary guys. Or like JT was the top salary guy last week. He was in a playoff, like finished second place. So like big names are winning these tournaments.
Yeah, it hasn't been
especially. Sorry, you go.
It hasn't been very hard to like pick a winner. I feel like in a DFS lineup, like the past 2 weeks. It hasn't been affiliated with the podcast, but like I've put together a lineup that had Bryson 2 weeks ago and Morikawa last week. Like,
I mean, last week, if you really wanted to, which I think Jackson did, like, and he won the shirt, whatever, in the contest. Like, you could have literally put JT, Morikawa, and Hovland in the same lineup, and then like your last three guys could have just been like throwaways.
In hindsight, obviously, you could put together the top 3 in the field.
Yeah.
But like, that's literally what he did. He took the top 3 like players going into the week, and then like just put like random players in as his last 3, and then like he had the top 3 finishers. I mean, they were up there. They were probably the 3 of the top like 8.
Yeah. Well, I think just, honestly, you said like, oh, the big names are winning. And it makes sense because, well, this week especially because the field is so stacked. I don't think there's even like a random person winning. It's just like basically like as stacked as the field can get almost. So I feel like there's gonna be the odds of someone like well known, like high salary winning is much more likely than
this is how stacked the field is. At the Rocket Mortgage, Bryson was plus 650 to win. Here he's plus 1050.
Yeah.
So he's basically,
and he's still the favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's here. Everyone you could think of is here.
So who do we think is that high salary guy? I mean, I threw a couple names out there: Morikawa, JT, Cantlay. Morikawa won last week. Do you think? What's it's so hard because we've never had a tournament like this back to back. Like, do you think it's worth picking him this week again? Now that he won last week, like, will he go back to back because it's the same course?
I think it would. I think it would. Honestly.
I don't think there's any reason you could say that like he's gonna do poorly. Like what would make anyone think that he'd just all of a sudden bad at this course?
It's just hard to win twice in a row.
And he's been the most consistent. He's been the most consistent player like on tour like the whole year.
Absolutely.
Like 26 of 27.
What's his salary this week?
Cuts, whatever.
10,000.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I think it's Morikawa. I wouldn't doubt JT. Do you know what JT's salary is?
He's probably the second highest.
10.9.
Yeah, so I think
it's
worth it because I put together a lineup like myself. It's different than like the Skins lineup we'll have this week, but it has 2 of my picks from the podcast this week that we'll get into, and I just have a ton of guys in like the mid 8s, and then I have Morikawa, and I have like Henrik Norlander,
right? Really,
who actually has the past 2 weeks
been playing pretty well,
incredibly well.
Now, what I'll say about Cantlay, he won last year, obviously, and he played well last week. He played well last week, but honestly, he played well in the final round last week. Like, he was one of the low scorers in the final round last week. And I think if you take that and you bring that into the next tournament, I don't know, like maybe he's one of those guys this week, especially since he won last year. I don't know. That's why I like him at the top.
I was actually talking about this with some of the dudes in like the Facebook group, the Golficity Premium like fantasy group on Facebook, and we kind of debunked the theory that like if you do well on Sunday, like if you just like are hot, like you'll ride into next week. Like it's just like there's like multiple examples of how that like really doesnn't correlate.
But I'm just saying he's a good golfer.
Of all weeks for it to correlate is this week.
Yeah,
because it's the same course. That's the only like I understand like it's like if you're hot on Sunday it doesn't really matter for next week, but like if it's gonna matter or make a little bit more of a difference any week, it's gonna be this week because it's the same course.
Yeah, I can see that.
I know, that's why I'll say Cantlay. But I mean, if we had to choose one, I guess I'd go Morikawa just based on the 10,000 salary and that he won last week. What?
Cantlay's 9.8.
9.8, which is actually really good for him.
That's not bad either, but
that's not bad at all.
I mean, those are the 3 guys. We're literally like breaking up the high salary guys into like different salaries too. So you got the high end guy, the middle high end guy, and like the low high end guy.
We don't have to agree on that. Like everybody can take what we said for what it is and decide. But I guess I'll start with DFS picks. My first one's Abraham Answer at 8,500. He's a premier ball striker, still one of the hottest players on tour. People kind of forget that because I feel like he hasn't played in 2 weeks, I think. He didn't play the past 2 weeks. Mm. He's 11th in strokes gain approach, and as we said, like ball striking is going to be super important this week, and who better than Abraham Answer? He's also 5th in that stat that you like to throw in there with this tournament, proximity from 150 to 175 yards. And I mean, he's a pretty above average putter as well, I would say.
I mean, at 8.5, that is a steal. Like,
absolutely.
Why is he 8.5? Like, I guess because the field's so stacked, but still, like, and he didn't play last week, but like, still 8.5. Like, that's good.
Yeah.
I wonder if a lot of other people will take him just seeing that salary. I'm not sure. I don't know.
We'll find out. We'll see what to find out. I love Answer this week.
I mean,
too,
obviously
so.
the Pin High podcast is totally on the Abraham Answer train, but
yes, definitely.
So we've caught on to that pretty quickly. I guess I'll go next. I'm gonna go with Ricky Fowler this week at 8.8. Ricky Fowler is 31st in strokes gained total. He was 22nd. He finished 22nd last week, T12 the week before, so he's kind of starting to hit his stride since the restart. And stats from last week. Last week he was 2nd in strokes gained off the tee and 10th in strokes gained tee to green. Also, stacked field this week, and I feel like Ricky's kind of tired of this whole like you don't have any majors, you didn't win a major. Like, this is kind of like a major quality field and would be like a good step to like bring it into the next major. So I think Ricky's gonna play well this week. He's definitely starting to hit his stride. So
yeah, that's what I picked. I picked Ricky to win last week in my bets, because like same thing you said. Like, he's kind of starting to hit his stride. And he kind of wants to prove himself a little more in like a major type field. So I'll go with Byung-Hun Banan. He got hot on Friday before missing the cut. He went like 76, and then I forgot what he shot on Friday.
He went 4 over, 4 under, I think.
Yeah, 4 under. He shot 30 on the front 9. 30 on the front 9 on Friday.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we said last week on Skins, he's played here 4 times. He's top 25 every single time. T11, T17, T25, and second. He finished second in 2018. So he knows the course, likes the course. Maybe he likes the greens a little faster. Maybe he likes like rough a little longer. Who knows? But he kind of got into his groove on Friday. And as Pat just said, the whole playing on Sunday doesn't really correlate to next week, but I think here it could correlate more.
I think maybe also it's like it's a prove it week too, because like he didn't play that well last week. Like, he's probably more motivated this week.
It's a prove it week, and he probably wasn't as used to the course as he usually would be considered the whole break. So who knows? I think he's gonna play better this week than he did last week for sure.
I like
that. And my second
pick,
pick,
what, 7-7?
7-7.
That's pretty good.
Pretty cheap. Second pick, I picked Mark Leishman last week. I'm picking him again this week.
You're on the Mark Leishman train.
Yeah. I'm doing the whole sloppy seconds for myself here. Stats are great here. Loves the course. He was came in 5th last year at the tournament. He's top 5 twice in the last 5 years. He's 10 out of 11 cuts here. 10 out of 12 if you count last week. He's still 4th in strokes gained approach on tour. He came in last week 1st total. I think it's a bounce back week. I think he still kind of figuring out his game since the restart. He's probably more motivated. It's a better field, more motivated because he didn't play as well last week. He loves the course. I don't think he's going to play bad here 2 weeks in a row.
How much did he love the course last week?
Yeah.
Did not love the course last week.
Well, Mark Leishman, he usually doesn't play bad 2 weeks in a row. Like, you don't usually see that.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't. The whole thing I said last week, he finished like 46 and then second. Like, I don't think he's going to play bad 2 weeks in a row.
You should just keep picking him until he does well.
Yeah,
I will pick him until he does well.
Kind of like Sanjay M.
Exactly.
So I'm going to go with Billy Horschel at 7,500. He low-key finished T7 last week. At last year's Memorial, he finished T9. Honestly, his approach is not that good, but last week he did crack the top 30 in the field, so his approach was pretty decent last week. He's a really good putter. That was pretty evident last week. He was 6th in strokes gained putting. And like I said, kind of a course horse, had a bunch of birdies last week. I think he was like 3rd or something in like scoring average or whatever. So Billy Horschel at 75, I think, is a pretty good salary. Usually plays well at this course, so gonna go with him.
All right, and then my last one, I'm going with Daniel Berger. I mean, people forget this guy just hasn't played since the RBC Heritage. He went
first.
He had a win for Charles Schwab. I didn't know how to say that, like solo first.
So
he was T first.
T first, yeah.
So yeah, he won the Charles Schwab. He put together a T3 at the RBC Heritage, and then he just dipped for a couple weeks. He's still one of the hottest on tour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on top of that, he's 37th in strokes gained off the tee, 35th in approach, 10th in putting, 7th in total strokes gained. I mean, there's no reason to, other than maybe rust, but like I don't think at this point they're used to not playing for a little bit, for like 2 or 3 weeks usually on tour. So I'd say he's a good pick this week.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. Just as a salary, like 8-7, pretty good for Daniel Berger. 8-5, good for Abraham Ancer. Like salaries this week, you find a lot of value there in the middle.
Yeah, I forgot to say this, but like I'm a big fan of pairing Berger and Ancer together this week because I feel like they're very similar in that like they're both hot, they're both like good ball strikers, they're both just playing so well, and if you pair them together, like I was experimenting with this, you still have a lot left you can do. So
yeah, definitely.
Move on to the betting segment. Quick recap. My best bet lost. It was Harold Varner make the cut. He was 5 over or something like that.
That's great. Embarrassing. Make the cut bet that loses.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Jeek lost his as well.
Well, I think mine pushed. I'm not sure how to explain it, but my bet was the winner to play in the final first tee pairing in round 4. No, and they weren't pairings. They were in threesomes, and Morikawa won as the third of the threesome, who wouldn't have been in the final pairing if it was a normal tournament and there was no weather. He would have been in the second to last pairing. But I think that would push because that changes the odds a ton if you have an extra player in the final pairing.
I think it's just a bad beat.
Yeah, it's just a bad beat.
I think it's just a bad beat.
I think because if it was winner to come into the final pairings and there was 3 players, the odds would be plus 250, not plus 163.
Yeah, but
so I think it just changed, and I think that bet pushes.
It's a bad beat.
I think if I put that in a book, that bet wouldn't have been lost. It would have just been pushed. Not that it gains me any points or anything.
Whatever. You didn't win.
Yeah, I can understand that last part. It would, but
because that pushes the odds. Because now you have threesomes in the final, so it's an extra player, and the winner's been coming. Honestly, my idea was that the winner was going to come from the second to last pairing, and it would have, but
not necessarily. You don't know how it would.
I mean, you don't know how he would have played, but I'm just that was my thinking going into that bet, and I think it was a good bet still. But
I understand how you could come from but it wouldn't push in the book. But I think it's a bad beat. I think it's just because I think if you go
the weather screws you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're not supposed to be playing in 3s. They're supposed to be playing in 2s. So when you're betting you're thinking that they're playing in 2s.
Listen, so DraftKings on their website says winner to play in final first tee grouping in round 4, not pairing.
That's bad.
Not pairing.
Oh yeah, Jeek lost.
So it's a bad.
I was thinking pairing because how in the hell was there going to be a third 3 group pair? You just can't predict that. That never happens.
If it's grouping, if it's grouping, you lost.
I mean, I just feel like that bet. I feel like the odds on that bet would have totally changed because it should push because if the odds change in the middle.
But if
they said grouping.
No, but if it's grouping, it's a loss because it doesn't say if it's
whatever. I don't really. It doesn't matter. I didn't get a point either way, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm just saying
you're arguing terminology that is clearly against you.
It's the group. If it said pairing, you've had more of a shot. But if it says grouping, it doesn't matter if it's.
I still think 4, it. I wish I actually bet that because I wanted to see what happens if that happened. Because I was very confused.
That would be actually interesting to see.
I feel like it would have pushed, but I'm not positive.
No, it wouldn't have.
No, but it wouldn't have.
It was grouping.
Whatever. I mean, you bet it as pairings.
Pairing is different.
I'm never choosing that damn bet again. So.
Yeah, it's an L. Anyway, Trevor won.
I won. Schauffele came through this time. I had Schauffele versus Rahm.
Yeah.
Schauffele came through. Pretty easy, actually. I think I think Rahm played well on Sunday. I think he shot like 6 under, but like Schauffele was like
well ahead of him.
6 shots ahead of it anyway.
Really?
So
yeah, that's the part.
He won pretty easily. I'll start.
Winners, they all didn't win. Let's
I'll start this week on my bets. The winner, I got Brooks Koepka. I think I'm doing it just because pure gut, but I think he's kind of pissed after he missed the cut last week, considering he entered the tournament on Friday after he missed the cut. I think he's pissed. I think he wants to prove himself. He's playing a good field. That's pretty much it. I think he's playing with Tiger. I think he's kind of pissed.
Also, he played well on Friday, which I guess I was just which now I'm coming around on but on Thursday he just kind of he didn't really put it together. But on Friday he started at the end of the round he really did well, and he finished at 1 under, which was 1 off the cut. So,
I think
is this the first time he's playing in back-to-back weeks since?
Might be.
I don't know.
But I think this is one of those tournaments where, because it's the same course back-to-back weeks, I think you could see more guys who missed the cut play better this week, just because they kind of got it was almost for them, it was almost seems like a warm-up round if they didn't make the cut, and they were able to stay the whole weekend and practice and work on everything they need to practice on the whole weekend. So you could see guys play better this week than they did last week, especially if they missed the cut like Koepka. And I'll go with my best bet to Gary Woodland, top 20 plus 200, going from that bonus this week. Played sick on Sunday, snuck into the top 5. He's top 10 on tour in strokes gained approach. I mean, you could I'm kind of I realize this. I'm kind of going all in on the whole playing well last round
goes
last
into this
week. And going to this week playing better. So we'll see if that works out. But Gary Woodland top 20 plus 200 could get a couple bonus points for that one, hopefully.
Okay, I'll go next. Not so hot take, but winner, I'm going to go Victor Hovland. I don't care about the Puerto Rico curse. He's going to win a tournament this year, I believe. He's plus 2,500, which is pretty good for based on his form. On form, so he's finished 3rd, T12, T11, T21, and T23 since the break. He's been getting better every week, pretty much. Last week, he was 1st in strokes gained off the tee, 6th in strokes gained approach, and 1st in strokes gained tee to green in the field. If he putts a little bit better this week, he'll win. It's pretty simple. All he has to do is put the putter together and he'll win.
He's a really bad putter.
Yeah, I feel he hasn't putted well.
Literally, if he putts decent, he'll win. He's that good right now. Kind of sticking on that, I'm also going to pick Victor Hovland top 30 minus 137. I mean, this has to be money, right? He finished top 30 in every start since the restart. So.
Way to step to the script, Jeek.
Yes.
It's the ultimate jinx right there.
No, I was saying you
literally wrote that in the
oh yes, right, yeah. I mean, I honestly I like Hovland a lot, obviously too. He's playing sick. But I think there has to be a point where there's going to be a point where he doesn't play well in a week. I don't think it'll be
this week's not that week. Yeah.
No, I don't think it'll be this week necessarily, but I think there's going to be a week where he does not play as well.
I mean, think about it. He's been traveling. He's been traveling by car to all these tournaments. This week he doesn't have to go anywhere. Doesn't have to drive anywhere.
True.
Oh, that's a big plus actually.
Yeah.
A little extra rest this week,
Yeah.
I'm kind of sticking on the same thing as Jeek, going with 2 of the same. So my winner, hate on it all you want, but it's actually pretty good odds to get him over 10 to 1. Bryson DeChambeau. He's won here before, although it was with a completely different game. And he's just he's so good. It does he's had. I put this together on my Golf City Bets thing. Since the break he was T8, or no, it was T8, T3, T6, and then 1. And then before the break, it was 4 and then 2. Solo 4th, solo 2nd. So it's this guy hasn't even come outside of the top 10 since Super Bowl weekend.
Mm-hmm. That's wild.
So that takes me to my best bet, where I got him at top 20 minus 137.
The fact that he's
that's kind of a lock. I feel like
I don't see him finishing outside of the top.
Nor do I.
Yeah. Let alone the top 10. That's plus 165. But I'm going with top 10.
Exactly.
Last time he played, he finished first in the field in strokes gained off the tee and first in the field in strokes gained putting. So he had the putter last time he played too, which is like big.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Are those all of our picks for betting?
Yeah. First round leader.
First round leader, right?
Okay, so hear me out here. I'm thinking you guys like Answer, or maybe Pat likes Answer. I don't know.
I put Answer in.
I like Gary Woodland just based on the last 3 rounds he's played. Last week he started off not great, which whatever, first round, whatever. I get it. This is a first round leader. But he came back and he had 3 straight sub 70 rounds. He is a ball striker, so that's good for this course. He's 10th in scoring average before the cut, and he's 9th in birdie average, which is like birdie average is a big stat for first round leader because that's what you need. You want birdies, you want scoring. So
I think I like Ants, to be honest.
I don't know. I just put the stats in for Woodland.
Woodland's stats are sick. Answer's played well the first round since the restart. He's gone 64, 69, 67. So he's obviously played well since the restart. Could it be a factor that he hasn't played competitively in a couple weeks? Yeah, probably. So, I think you can go either way. I think
we'll give you a bonus. We got 2. They're both the same value plus 5,000. So you got 2.
I think you can go either way. You can go. I like with my gut. I like going with the Answer, but Woodland does have really good stats, and I picked him to finish top 20 this week. So hopefully he plays well. So I don't think you can go wrong either way.
Yeah, Gary Woodland's in one of my DraftKings lineups, so I like it as well, obviously. Mm-hmm. Let's go with our birdies and bogeys of the week. I just had one. I can't
I'll go. I have mine because my birdie of the week, MMA gambling. But there was an event last on Saturday for UFC. I think like in Fight Island or whatever the hell they are, and I went 10 for 10 in like who's gonna win and how they're gonna win in like the main card. So
how much did that win you though?
I don't have a book, so I had to put it into DraftKings. I did like a DraftKings like pick'em lineup, went 10 for 10. Uh-huh. So did like another like 20 people. So I like had to split the winner's money. I think I ended up out like $30 or something out of that.
That's still pretty.
On DraftKings, that's pretty good.
I'll take it. For DraftKings,
I wasn't expecting to go 10 for 10 and like get all the like because it's so hard to like pick like how fights are gonna like finish in that. But I went 10 for 10 in that
one bank.
Yeah, I was saucing picks over to Pat and Menet, and I'm hoping you guys cashed in on some of those. So
yeah, I cashed in.
And then my bogey of the week. It's probably just my bad beat from last week that had to go in 3s, and Morikawa I didn't win my bet. So I'm still a little salty about that, but yeah. Also bonus birdie of the week. Bonus birdie of the week. New wedge came in. Got an SM8. Used actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't your birdie of the week.
Used, but it doesn't look used. Like I think somebody might have used it like once and was like, I don't like this, and decided to sell it. I got it for a pretty good price, so it's going in the bag.
All right, so I'll go second.
Go ahead, Trev.
My birdie of the week is I haven't bought it yet, but I'm officially gonna go try to get a 2-iron, the UDI. After I played with it at the qualifier last week, I hit so sick, and I had to return it to my friend 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago, and I decided, you know what, like it's so sick. I'm just gonna get like another, like I'm just gonna order one online until
maybe I could find you a good deal, Trev.
There's this thing that I sent to Pat. I haven't tried it yet. But there's this thing where you can get like 50% off. Like one of my friends used it and got like $500 off his order because it was like 50%.
Oh, that's what it was. That was my bogey. That thing doesn't work.
It doesn't work. I still haven't tried it yet. I have to
a certain account to do that.
I think I saw like in the text that a friend sent me, it was like you have to have like a Dick's Sporting Goods man. I don't know.
The code there was no place to put in the code. You needed to log in first. Okay. I didn't have to log in.
I'll try.
You could probably just create an account.
Today. I'll try to figure it out. I'm gonna try to figure it out today. But if I can do that, I can get UDI. I'm gonna try to get the UDI. I'm gonna try to get new wedges too. Hopefully sometime. But a bogey of the week, I don't know. I don't really know. I could. My dad and I played a match on Sunday. We played, and I shot 75. My dad shot 74, and we lost the match.
Dang.
Because the guy we played against shot 68.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we played against a guy shot 68, and we was a +2, but he's 68. Like the front nine, like there was like a 4-hole stretch where I was just so out of it for some reason. I made like 6 bogeys in a row or something like that, and I came back in the back nine, birdied 10, 11, and like 12.
Not gonna lie, when I put the golf on while we were golfing the other day, I was just like completely out of it. Like when we were playing, because like I just was not focused at all.
And then another bogey is not watching. I was looking forward to watching that final round in the afternoon, or like I knows in the morning. I was looking forward to watching in the afternoon, and I just see it's like I look see it's in the morning, and it's not even on live TV. So I was kind of pissed about that.
So I woke up on Saturday knowing that we were going golfing like during the final round, and I woke up on Saturday and made like, you know how I post like the champion like on the Instagram like with that like little edit or whatever. I woke up that on Sunday, and I made like 6 of those with 6 different people, and then like just saved them to my phone because I knew I was gonna have to post one of them. Yeah. I made one for like Seifert or whatever his name is, and Pat was like, "Why did you make one for him?" And I was like, "Well, he was like 2 shots back when I did this." So
I honestly cannot remember my birdie, so I'm gonna start with my bogey. Hopefully, it comes to me. But my bogey is that I just haven't been playing very well. But it's probably just like because all I'm doing is like working now and not playing golf. So I mean, like the other. Well, I've played the past 2 days, but before that, I hadn't played in like I think 9 or 10 days, which is like
long time.
That's a recipe for not playing well. And then my birdie, I'm gonna go with the fact that I'm actually gonna make some money this week, considering it's payday on Friday.
There you go.
And I worked a lot.
You thinking about that putter?
The overtime 4th of July hours too.
Yep, the overtime 4th of July hours. You know. Literally like 7 or 8 or 9 days of work, gonna be good. Work Wednesday, Thursday, right before the paycheck as well. It's gonna be fire. And then what Cheek was saying, I might buy a new putter.
You should buy a new putter.
Or you like this used one.
You told me about that last week actually. You thought about the Odyssey or looking at the Odyssey or whatever.
No,
I was looking at the mini Spider now.
Look at the mini Spider.
Mini Spider? The Spider is so sick.
I got my wedge from Second Swing. There's some like decent deals on there. Like if you should look for your 2-iron on there. Like you could get clubs that are like not used at all, but are like $50 off from like the price that you would like buy them.
I'll look at it. I'll figure something out.
What I'm looking at is like it's like red and white and it's a mini Spider. It's like called like the red white diamond or something like that, and it's with the code that Jeek sent me as well, it's gonna be like $100.
Yeah, that's what I got. I got a brand new SM8 pretty much for like $100, and it's like 160
that's
retail.
So I gotta look
also,
into that. Sure.
I would like to ask Trevor about this. Mm-hmm. Do you think that like 34 versus 35-inch putter really matters?
No,
I didn't think so.
So like, if I think like an extra $50 off for it being 34 inches versus 35.
Honestly, I think it's probably better that it's like, I feel like for taller people, it's like better that it's shorter. I feel like.
I mean, yeah. So my putter's 34, and you tried it yesterday, right? And like it didn't, and like I put them up next to each other, and an inch is really not that much, and it like didn't really make a difference.
It's unless it's like you look up and find like some big difference between it. I don't like, especially if it's like that much of a cost difference. I don't think it matters.
All right, then you might have just sold me on getting that one for like $50 cheaper.
That's $50 cheaper. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just get that one.
So yeah, where are we next week on the PGA Tour? I have no clue.
That's
very
a
good question.
I feel like last week it was just like, oh, we're gonna be here again. Well, it seems like every week we're just gonna go play it at Muirfield Village. So next week's
3M.
3M. Yeah, TPC Twin Cities.
That's where Wolf won last year, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it was. Where is it?
It's in Minnesota.
Minnesota? Okay, we've actually got 2 good ones coming up, and then, of course, it's the Barracuda, which is going to be like,
No, that's the same week as
PGA Championship.
Oh, it's the same one.
When's the PGA Championship?
Oh, it's the same one as the as the WGC.
Yeah, same one as WGC.
And then after that is the
PGA
PGA. Damn, we got some good golf coming up.
Yeah.
Good golf coming up.
I forgot about the PGA. That's weird.
It's in August. Yeah, the first week of August.
I'm not even like thinking about the PGA right now.
Then after the PGA, it's the Wyndham, which is like that one's always so funny because like somebody's like fighting like needs like a bogey on the last hole to make the playoff, and then they like double bogey it or something. The Northern Trust, the BMW, the Tour Championship.
Then we got the we got some
golf's coming in
hot. Golf coming up. I love it.
Sucks that the Ryder Cup officially got postponed though.
You know what? I'm not too destroyed about that because like
I would rather there be a crowd. There were no fans.
Yeah.
If there were no fans, it would have been so disappointing watching that.
So I was just thinking about this. All these tournaments that lead up to the Masters this year on November 12th and November 15th are like, it's the Shriners Hospitals, Sanderson Farms, like CJ Cup in Korea, like the Zozo in China, all this stuff, like the Bermuda, the Houston Open. Are they going to get a lot more play from like the top guys?
Because I will.
I don't think guys are going to go like overseas though. Like they're not going to.
No, but I think the only reason they would is because of the Masters. I think they'll probably. I don't know.
Actually. You go overseas, like risk getting a virus, and then like you can't play in the U.S. Open.
That's
or the
true.
Masters
But I think the Houston Open is going to be a stacked.
Yeah, that one's going to be stacked. I think.
Yeah,
that's going to be good for that.
It is. Oh, definitely.
That's going to be awesome. Oh, but anyway, yeah. So what do we got next week? I already forgot. We got
3M Open.
3M Open in Minnesota. We'll see you then. Hopefully, we make some money off all this betting and DFS advice. Stay tuned for the Golf is City Bets Instagram for the Skins episode we're about to do. Other than that, we'll see you next week.